Hi Spookies, my name is Scarah, Damsel of the Doomed. Welcome to my tub of terror. Tonight I will be revealing 5 behind-the-scenes facts about the horror sci-fi classic Phantasm. And I'll do so rather quickly because these bubbles won't last forever. "1979 was an exceptional year for horror. It gave us Alien, The Brood, Salem's Lot, Tourist Trap, and Phantasm. I had a tough time deciding which movie to pick between Alien and Phantasm because they are both sci-fi horror classics, and Alien is basically a masterpiece. But Phantasm is really weird. And for me, for this situation, weird wins. Phantasm was written and directed by Don Coscarelli. Now, Don made his film directorial debut, when he was only 17 years old with the movie Jim, the World's Greatest. And then he went on to do a few other things, and when he was 23, he wrote and directed Phantasm. It came out when he was 25 years old. You may also know old Donnie Boy from movies like Bubba Hotep, which he wrote, and Beastmaster, which he also wrote. Much like George Romero's creative output has been primarily focused on his highly successful Dead series, Don Coscarelli has seen Phantasm develop a huge fan base over the last 2 decades throughout all of the iterations of the film. So the basic storyline is as follows. There's this kid, Mike. He's a young teenager, and he loses his parents. He becomes obsessed with the idea that his brother's going to leave him as well, so he follows him all over the place. He ends up following his brother to a funeral, and young Mike sees the tall man lift an entire coffin by himself and load it into the back of a vehicle. This piques his interest because who can lift an entire coffin by themselves? So Mike follows the guy around and investigates, and he finds out that the guy is stealing dead bodies. Then, what does he do with the dead bodies? Oh, he finds out that the tall man is stealing dead bodies, shrinking them down to half their size, reanimating them, and using them as slaves. So then it's up to Mike, his brother, and their friend, who happens to be an ice cream man, to stop the tall man and his spinning sphere of death. Spinning sphere of death is a new tongue twister. I dare you, try it. Spinning sphere of death. Okay. And now, 5 behind-the-scenes facts about the horror movie Phantasm, starting with fact number 1. In the cemetery scene, there is a headstone that is featured prominently that has the name Cecilia Weiss on it. Now, Cecilia Weiss was Harry Houdini's mother, and it's a recreation of her actual headstone. Harry Houdini's real name is Eric Wise, W-E-I-S-Z, but it was later Americanized to Eric, W-E-I-S-S. The definition of phantasm is a figment of the imagination, an illusion, or apparition. But Don Coscarelli, he took the title Phantasm from the works of Edgar Allan Poe, who frequently used it in his writings. You may ask yourself, how did they get that sphere to fly around through the air? Well, it was a simple special effects trick. What they did was they had a baseball pitcher stand behind the camera and throw the sphere through the air. And then they just printed the shot in reverse. The same thing goes for the scene where the sphere attaches itself to the caretaker's face and digs its claws in, its little hooks, and then the drill goes in and the blood's like that. That was filmed by, they first stuck the sphere on the man's face, and then he pulled it off and kind of threw it all in one shot. Phantasm was shot over the course of a year, with the cast and the crew getting together only on the weekends to shoot. Don Coscarelli said that he didn't have any of the required permits and that he had to tap into the local residents' homes for power. What a broke bitch. The original runtime for Phantasm was over 3 hours. Don Coscarelli decided this was way too long and he didn't think it would hold the audience's attention, so multiple cuts were made, And that footage, the cut footage, was later discovered in the 90s and was used as the framework for Phantasm 4, which came out in, I think, 1998. Final thoughts. Phantasm is a low-budget, amateur project that came out surprisingly well. It deals with death and loss and coming of age and delivers mightily on the gore scale. And the spinning sphere of death is maybe the coolest device I've ever seen in any horror movie. Well, as you can see, I'm almost out of bubbles, so I better wrap this up. We finished with the 1970s horror movies, and I'm ready to move on to the 80s. In the comments below, let me know what horror movie from the 80s you would like me to discuss, and I will be ready to reveal facts about all of the ones that I choose from your selections. Because let's be real, it's my type of terror after all. I make the final decisions. Anyway, my name is Scarah, Damsel of the Doomed, and I'll see you in your screams.